The roar of Niagara Falls was drowned out by the thunderous chorus of chanting Canadians dressed head to toe in lumberjack garb. Red plaid jackets, rugged jeans, and leather boots set the tone, while hats adorned with miniature moose antlers completed the uniform. Each protester wielded a double-edged arsenal, chainsaws and hockey sticks, clutched in fists raised proudly. This was no ordinary demonstration. This was patriotism in its loudest, flashiest, and most flavorful form. The outdoor Stanley Cup playoff game between Canada and the USA had drawn quite the crowd, but the match was now a mere footnote amidst the spectacle unfolding by the falls. Towering above the crowd stood Moose Godzilla, a colossal hybrid of myth and mirth. Its form merged the majestic bulk of a moose with the spine-rattling grandeur of a kaiju, complete with dazzling rainbow spikes that glimmered in the maple syrup-scented mist. Around its massive hooves, the Canadians worked tirelessly to construct a sprawling poutine buffet with golden maple syrup fountains, engineered as acts of culinary diplomacy. Moose Godzilla trumpeted its approval, a sound so deep that the foundations of Niagara rattled beneath the awe-struck hockey fans. With a flick of its enormous antlers, the syrup fountains sprouted new innovations. One spewed waves of caramel syrup mist. Another created cascading syrup waterfalls that gleamed in the sunlight, filtering rainbow hues across the buffet. Maple syrup geysers delighted onlookers, as Moose Godzilla generously dispensed bottles labeled Divine Syrup of Freedom to every lumberjack as they labored with patriotic fervor. Meanwhile, the sky filled with UFO flying saucers hovering like disco balls over the stadium. The aliens piloting them were ready to join the festivities, not in protest, but in support of intergalactic poutine diplomacy. Like cartwheeling metallic chefs, they began lowering poutine carts down to the field. The carts, sleek and futuristic, were engineered with self-replenishing gravy tanks and an infinite supply of cheese curds. Each delivery was met with cheers from the American patriots, who eagerly complimented their beer cups with boxes of golden fries drenched in Canadian hospitality. In the midst of the chaos, the USA's mascot, a comically oversized bald eagle, plodded onto the field. Its t-shirt, emblazoned with "I, Putin," triggered a mixture of laughter and confused murmurs from the Canadian camp. Moose Godzilla turned its glowing blue eyes toward the eagle, releasing a throaty moose snort that seemed to convey, "Really? In my syrup kingdom?" The eagle waddled over to the maple fountains, its feathers briefly singed from the geysers, and began reluctantly pecking at what seemed to be a diplomatic offering from the UFOs, a poutine platter left shimmering with outer space gravy. The aliens, delighted by the eagle's tentative cooperation, initiated their next act of cosmic camaraderie. Hovering above the eagle, an alien chef projected holograms of recipes for American impact fries and interstellar cheese curds. The eagle glared at the aliens, puffed its chest dramatically, and squawked something incomprehensible that sounded oddly like, "Freedom tastes better grilled." The aliens exchanged confused glances, shrugged their tiny extraterrestrial shoulders, and proceeded to decorate the eagle's poutine cart with luminescent stars. As the Canadians unfurled a massive banner reading, "Taste our freedom," Moose Godzilla stomped its hoof proudly and squirted syrup over the entire buffet. The Americans paused in their chants long enough to take a bite of fries coated in this divine sweet nectar. And in that moment, everything changed. Silence fell as the crowd stood in reverence of the perfect balance of gravy, curds, and syrup, elevating poutine to transcendental diplomacy. Grins split across the faces of the lumberjacks, their hockey sticks planted in the ground like flags of victory. Moose Godzilla let out another triumphant roar before plopping down by the buffet tables, stretching its rainbow-spiked back against the setting sun. The alien saucers clicked their joy in Morse code, raining bursts of stardust over the field, while the eagle, the syrup dripping from its beak, glanced nervously at the Canadian crowd before muttering what could only be described as an awkward thanks. By the day's end, the Stanley Cup game didn't matter. Through syrup fountains, cosmic cheese curds, and Moose Godzilla's benevolence, the true champions of the day were diplomacy, maple syrup, and the infinite possibilities of freedom coated in caramel glory.